Hi, welcome to the first in a short series of videos demonstrating the features of SoccerDad, an iPhone app for soccer coaches. The SoccerDad application is divided into 5 tabs: Teams, Schedule, Play, Stats, and Settings. The Teams tab is fairly obvious. That's where you'll set up your teams and the players who belong to them. The Schedule tab is where you schedule events like games and practices. The Play tab is where you go on game day to run a game. The Stats tab contains reports that detail playing times, goals, and things of that nature. And Settings is where you set the default values that SoccerDad will use. So on this video I just want to start out by actually setting up my first team. So the way I do that is I click on the plus tab, and the first thing you notice here is that SoccerDad indicates the fields that are required in order to complete an action. We try and keep those things to a minimum. You're always free to fill in more information. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in my team name. Blue Sharks. And next I can actually pick a team color. The nice thing about picking a team color is that SoccerDad will then use that throughout the application to sort of color code information. So at a quick glance, if you're managing multiple teams, you can pick out a game for the Blue Sharks versus a game for the Red Dragons. Okay. The next thing is to add a season. And SoccerDad organizes the teams into seasons. So again, if you're managing multiple teams for a particular season, those will be grouped together. Okay, and my season that I'm going to add is the fall. And optionally, I can put in when my season starts and ends. So we're going to start at the beginning of September. And this season ends at the end of October. So there we go. My season is added, so now we have the Blue Sharks playing blue for the fall of 2010. Now I can go on and actually start to add players. Here I have two options. Create a new player. So this is creating a brand new player, somebody you haven't coached before. The other option here is selecting an existing player, and this can be used if you have returning players coming back to your team for the next season, or if you have a player who plays on multiple teams. So this will just allow that player to be linked to several teams, and things like the contact information and things like that, you won't have to re-enter that. Okay? In our case, we're going to create a new player, and the only thing we're required to do here is put in a first name. So that's what I'll do. I'll just show you what that does. Okay, so there's my new player, Ian. He gets a blue shirt because he's on the blue team. Okay. Now I have the option to go in and specify more information, so let's go back in and show you some of that. I can enter a last name for Ian. I can enter his shirt number. A really nice feature that I can do is I can actually enter a picture for Ian. Again, here I have two options. I can take a picture with the camera on the device, or I can select an existing photo from my photo library. So that's what I'm going to do for Ian. And here are all your albums that have are synced down to your device. And we'll get a good picture of Ian here. Okay, so pictures can be very useful, certainly when you're starting the season and you're trying to put names with faces. One of the other options here is, by default, SoccerDad is going to try and give every player equal playing time in every position, so it'll rotate people around as time goes on. You can have some flexibility here though. If you only want a subset of your players to play in goal or any other position, you can start to uncheck or check things here. I'm going to leave the default, which is Ian's going to get to play everywhere. Okay. The other thing that's very important is being able to contact Ian or his parents if something goes wrong. The game gets rescheduled or whatever. So what I can do here is add a contact. Again, two options. This gets very, very familiar. I can create a brand new contact, and what this is going to do, it actually uses the address book or the contacts that are on your iPhone, so it will store that new contact into your address book. The other thing I can do is select an existing contact. So again, if I have contacts that are already out there, I just get to pick them. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And we'll pick John here. And I can add multiple contacts here. The nice thing about this is that associated with John are a phone number, maybe an email address and things like that. So there are multiple ways in which you can now contact Ian with information. Okay, and SoccerDad will help you do that, and we'll show that later. Okay, so now I'm done adding Ian back to my team. And just show you one more. We'll create another new player. Done. Done. There's my other new player. Again, standard things here from the iPhone for editing. These little minus signs, if I click them, I'll be able to delete those players. So you have full flexibility in terms of adding and deleting. And I don't have to do this all in one shot. If I'm done for today and setting this up, I can come in tomorrow and again go into edit mode and start adding players in. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show for this first video. Come back next time and I'll start to show setting up a game and a practice, and then further along in the series we'll actually start talking about how you manage the game on game day. Okay, thank you very much. Again, more details about SoccerDad are available at soccerdadapp.com.